Another tale of my man is your man, hurt it's her man too. Shout out to SZA. What would you do if you found out your man was not only cheating on the low, but was cheating on the low with a Grammy Award-winning, multi-platinum vocalist who just so happened to have also been the winner of Season 3 of American Idol? She's dealt with her fair share of situationships throughout her life, but nothing quite tops the one she had to deal with real estate agent and businessman Antwuan Cook. Maybe because Antwuan had a whole wife and kids back at the crib? When Antwuan's wife Paula caught wind of her husband's trifling ways, she filed for divorce immediately and even went as far as to sue Fantasia herself. To make matters worse, Fantasia had gotten pregnant not only once, but twice during the relationship. And like you'd expect, once the media became involved, all hell broke loose and Fantasia would be labeled a homewrecker for years to come. It had gotten to a point where the only way Fantasia thought she could end all the chaos was to end her own life. Let's take a look back at the affair that ended it all. Fantasia Barrino got her big break when she auditioned for Fox singing competition show American Idol back in 2003. And despite going through turbulent times during her run, she persevered and ended up winning the overall competition. But the turbulence didn't stop once the show was over. During peak Fantasia supremacy in the early 2000s, she released a multitude of hits throughout the years and was able to cultivate herself as one of the greatest vocalists of our time. But that all came crashing down in the summer of 2009 when she'd gotten herself involved in an entanglement with a married man. Antwuan Cook was just your average businessman working as a retail sales manager at a local T-Mobile store located in North Carolina when he had came across Miss Barrino and her mullet. One thing led to another, and shortly after, Fantasia found herself falling head over heels for the university graduate. The fact that Antwuan wasn't involved in the music industry whatsoever is what really sealed the deal for Fantasia. A normal man is something she had yearned for quite some time, and a normal man is exactly what she got. As you probably know by now, that clearly wasn't the best decision for someone of Fantasia's caliber, but more on that later. The newly established couple would be seen taking trips to the beach and other outings, and like any other celebrity minding their business, the paparazzi were sure to be somewhere lurking in the bushes, waiting on their perfect opportunity to snap Fantasia and Antwuan doing absolutely anything. Once the pics hit the internet, a domino effect had ensued, and the media had gotten word of Fantasia's relationship. Her world would come crashing down once troubling revelations surrounding her new boo had been brought to her attention, via the media and his own wife. Antwuan was really out here pulling a Kevin Hunter on us. Maybe not to that extreme, living his best life. Whole time, his wife, Paula Cook, was at home cooking, cleaning, and taking care of their 2 children. Shortly after Paula had discovered that her husband was outside exchanging butterfly kisses to the Fantasia, she filed for divorce and was willing to take it all. Paula would soon involve Fantasia in a legal battle seeking alimony from her husband, child support, and a total of $100,000 under the alienation of affection law, which, if you don't know, is a law in North Carolina that allows for a married woman or man to sue the third party responsible, in this case Fantasia, for interfering in or breaking up a marriage. In the lawsuit, Paula claimed that Fantasia and Antwuan had been to bars, restaurants, nightclubs, and all up and through these North Carolina streets. The 2 even had matching tattoos, with Fantasia tattooing Antwuan's last name on her collarbone. The biggest reveal of all was that of the allegations of a secret sex tape Fantasia and Antwuan had made, and before y'all ask, yes, we've looked, and no, we haven't found anything. Obviously, Fantasia came out on the defense, claiming that she was not the one responsible for breaking up anyone's marriage. In fact, she didn't even know that the guy whose last name she has tatted on her neck and had been seeing for less than a year was even married. Apparently, Antwuan was talking that good nonsense in Fantasia's ear, claiming to have been separated from his wife, but Paula claimed that the two had only begun living in separate houses in June of 2010. For those of you who are too lazy to do the math, this would mean that Antwuan was still living at home with his wife during the entire time he spent with Fantasia. As the court hearings were unfolding and the media began stirring the pot harder than a Tupac diss track, despite Antwuan telling the public to back off Fantasia and place the blame all on him, the accusations, media, and public scrutiny all began to take a huge toll on Fantasia's mental state. On top of the shocking deceleration of her having an abortion during the relationship, it had been revealed that Fantasia was laid up in a hospital fighting for her life after taking a concoction of aspirin and sleeping pills. The noise surrounding the allegations were all too much for her to bear, and unfortunately, Fantasia saw no way out. She had attempted to take her own life. Fortunately, our good sis didn't take enough to overdose completely, and when she had awakened, headlines had gone from deeming her a certified homewrecker to a survivor. Along the way, Paula would soon drop the lawsuit as well as the divorce filings, and all three had gone under the radar for quite some time. That is till 2011, when the plot thickened and it'd be revealed that Fantasia had given birth to her son, Dallas Xavier. Eyebrows were raised, and a public game of Guess the Baby's Father would ensue because Miss Barrino refused to tell her fans, well, anything. The real gag was that she didn't have to disclose anything, because fans had put two and two together and discovered that Antwuan was in fact the father of Fantasia's newborn. Eventually, she let it be known that her ex and the man responsible for basically shifting the positive trajectory of her own career was indeed the father of her child. After the big announcement, things began. Fantasia and Antwuan began to shift, and we wouldn't see them out together like we once had before. After a year and some change, rumors began to spread about Antwuan and Fantasia's split shortly after Dallas Xavier's birth. But this next part is what really had fans lining up with their pitchforks under Antwuan Cook's social media posts, ready to thoroughly cook him. Not only was it confirmed that the two had split, but it was also confirmed that Antwuan had gotten back together with his wife, Paula. Supposedly, Antwuan had a change of heart about his wife and their relationship. Why a change of heart, you ask? Well, supposedly Antwuan's father had passed away the week of Father's Day, and he, Antwuan, and Paula were all super close, this motivating him to work things out with his wife. The timeline of events wasn't settling well with Fantasia fans at all, because they were definitely keeping their feet on Antwuan's neck. Despite what we may think, Antwuan insisted he simply just had a change of heart and wanted to work things out with his wife. It all just so happened to have coincided not too long after the birth of his son he shares with Fantasia. This sole relationship single-handedly almost destroyed Fantasia's entire career, but it also brought forth an important discussion that we see happen time and time again. Whether Fantasia was seeing a married man knowingly or unknowingly, it doesn't take away the fact that she was scrutinized in front of the world for something men more times than not get away with unscathed and not nearly condemned for. When situations like this happen, women are often dragged to the moon and back, while the man who did all the lying, cheating, and sleazing not only seemed to get less of a pushback, but even seemed to be forgiven entirely. Whether you agree with the fact that what Fantasia did should or should not be forgiven, I think we all can admit that there is a major double standard in society. As of today, Antwuan and Paula are still together, raising their children, and Fantasia has moved on to her now husband, Kendall Taylor, who she married after only 3 weeks. Now, that's a video you surely wouldn't want to miss. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and let us know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments section. And stay tuned for more true celebrity stories.